The Parkins and Spiegel Show.
If y'all ready, give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Speaks. This is Barrett Peary, the new basketball coach at Portland State.
The other thing is I'm hungry and passionate. I don't eat breakfast in the morning so I can come to work hungry. So when I get to lunch, I'm hungry. And that's just the kind of person I am.
Could you imagine your kid accepts a scholarship to Portland State to play basketball? You're a parent and you're watching that press conference and you're like, what have I done?
I'm hungry.
Oh, this is a big mistake.
I know my 2003 Chevy Tahoe's got a lot of play this week so far, but it doesn't have AC and it doesn't have heat. And the reason I do that is so I can practice my mental toughness during the winter when it's cold, and I can practice my mental toughness during the summer when it's hot. That's the type of person I am.
I caught zero logic and all that. And that last bit, pure gibberish.
Texter said this guy just sounds kind of poor.
He does sound poor. I don't eat breakfast because I can't afford it.
My 2003 Chevy Tahoe doesn't have heat.
I've been poor my whole life. Told my parents, their parents before them, it's like a disease. Passing from generation to generation, becomes a sickness. That's what it is.
I'm really excited to get this job in Portland State because I'll finally have health insurance.
I don't eat breakfast in the morning.
I don't have heat in my car because it's difficult to find parts for a 2003 Tahoe.
So Portland State's going to be a big sleeper for you next year? They're not even eating.
Mental toughness.
Incredible.
It's just not a profession that breeds normalcy.
The first part of being smart is knowing what to do. We're gonna have systems.
I don't eat breakfast in the morning.
We use the word oski.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
You're going to take your skill talent.
What we do, we get in the car and we look for lights.
I played a couple of them at rock, paper, scissors, right?
1, 2, 3, and here we go, Tim. Here we go. Here we go, Tim. Here we go, Tony.
The Parkins and Spiegel Show. Afternoons 2 to 6 on Chicago's Sports Radio 670 The Score and Odyssey Station.
It's been a weird show. Can we just pause for a second and regroup here and think about the ground we've covered in 3 hours?
Okay.
Boog Shambi crushed you for a question live on the air after asking permission to do so and then apologized for it. And then we said, no, you didn't go hard enough. And then he picked up the crushing where he left off.
Yeah, it really, really fun Boog, who's an interesting, thoughtful dude, and let us in psychologically a little bit, and also rattled off all 4 of the batters who hit him foul balls today.
Yes, that's correct. Dave Wanstedt told us...
I forgot that was today.
That was today. Dave Wanstedt told us about the private party on Jimmy Johnson's boat for the inner circle of people who were with them at the U and the Cowboys. It included Troy Aikman's workout regimen, the number of beers consumed, the name of Jimmy Johnson's restaurant, his conversation with Mike Ditka, and why a public relations savant and lawyer were present.
The fact that it was all football coaches or players and then a PR guy and a lawyer.
And Troy Aikman's private jet was also covered in the story. We then spoke to Dan Bernstein's wife about being married to the devil as revealed by a tarot card reader.
Yeah.
And maybe the craziest thing of all, we discussed Javi Baez making contact with the baseball. I mean, it's been a wild day.
Yeah.
It's been a wild show.
It has. Cubs again tonight. Matt Duffy in the lineup tonight. Couple of contact guys have emerged. Eric Sogard and now Matt Duffy. And I think they got to have at least one in the lineup every damn night, and hope that it gets a little contagious with the contact.
I think that makes all the sense in the world. And you know the weirdness isn't done here because we still have a Les Grobstein call to get to. So we know there is still plenty of weirdness to come. And
oh, hell yeah.
that open from that coach, Jace Coburn, the Portland State guy who drives the 03 Tahoe. I have some, Chuck Norris facts.
Yeah.
Remember that thing back in the day?
Yeah.
When I get to lunch, I'm hungry.
That guy.
Yeah.
A listener sent me the link to the Portland State website, which is govikes.com.
Okay.
And the story of them hiring him. So this is made by their PR team, right? There's the normal press release up top with the story.
Which includes, I would assume, the resume of Jace Coburn.
Right. And then the bottom half is big bold letters, Jace Coburn is not your average college basketball coach. What you should know, ...
Ooh, so are they steering into the skid?
Oh, they're steering. This guy apparently is a weirdo.
The reason I do that is so I can practice my mental toughness.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're just now realizing that.
Yeah.
After reading this section, I don't think that's the appropriate revelation. I think we already knew he was a weirdo. The revelation here is that Portland State knew full well he was a weirdo and said, yep, that's our weirdo.
Apparently, he's like a legendary weirdo.
Wow. Like what level of weirdo?
Like basketball obsessed weirdo.
Okay.
Like we were talking about yesterday. Like the coachiest coach that ever coached.
There it is. There it is. And that opened, by the way, just a phenomenal collection of some of the coachiest coaches who ever coached. Can I really quickly ask which one, Tanny, who was, what we're going to do, we're going to get in the car and look for lights.
Oh, that's a man who the tournament should be named after, not even his own region. That is the one and only Jim Tomsula.
Ah, yes. Okay. See, I think that was during either my era of vague employment or something. I missed the Tom Sula rage. It never got to me.
It was phenomenal.
Somehow.
When he the brief, he was like a shooting star. It was very bright.
Yeah.
But it flickered out very immediately because you realized he was all mustache and sayings.
What year was that? Were me and Mac talking hockey that year? Is that what
I'm not sure. But you're like, that guy is an NFL head coach.
Yeah.
I'll take the under on 10 games.
You guys missed a lot of cool stuff during those Hawks Cup runs, man. There's so much stuff going on outside of that.
Yeah, but I experienced those Cup runs way more than a hockey guy like me deserves to experience, frankly.
And then there's always the marsh peg as well.
Yes!
Yeah, you got the marsh peg. And what was the line?
I don't have it anymore.
That you're a diehard hockey fan. You watched some of the game last night.
It was a cut, and along the way through those 3 Cup runs, I really have grown to appreciate hockey. I caught about 20 minutes of the game.
You're like, I'm a huge fan now. I've really grown to appreciate it. I watched 15 minutes last night.
I caught the right 5 minutes last night. And they did something they hadn't done in 35 years, coming back from 3 goals. 5 minutes to go. It's good stuff.
That's fascinating. You want some of these Jace Coburn facts?
We're talking about the 4 phases of football.
4.
The offense, the defense, special teams, and then life.
Thank you, Jim.
That's Jim Thompson.
Life.
Yeah.
Football is life. Jace Coburn became a head coach for the first time, Speaks, at the age of 18. He formed his own AAU team in Arizona and coached 16 and 17-year-olds. Quote, those parents put a lot of trust in me. At 21, Coburn became an assistant coach at Phoenix Junior College, routinely coaching players older than him, some at the age of 27.
Okay, so imagine you're 21 years old. You're weird-ass Jace Coburn.
Yeah.
And you've got to prove just how coachy you are to those older and bigger guys. You have to prove that I deserve your respect. I know about mental toughness. That makes sense to me.
He then goes on to coach McClintock High School at the age of 23 years old, winning a state title, youngest coach in the history of Arizona to win a state title.
Wow.
At 27, gets a job at junior college powerhouse Howard to be an assistant. He lived in the dorm with his players. At 29.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is amazing. The players are like, who's the narc? Oh, that's Coach.
That's Coach Coburn. That's Coach Jace.
Oh, man. Really? Coach lives here? Terrible idea.
So now, Mr. I don't have breakfast or air conditioning in my car leaves.
It doesn't have AC, and it doesn't have heat.
He takes his 2003 Chevy Tahoe with him to Portland State at 29 to be an assistant coach. And
Wow.
in this thing, he drove to Portland in his 2003 Chevy Tahoe.
Do they write about the car in the press release?
I'm reading. He drove to Portland in 2003 with his 2003.
Right, this has to stop. This has to stop. This attributing character to the desire to have an old car.
Just wait. Just wait for the next 2 sentences, okay? Drove to Portland in his 2003 Chevy Tahoe with just a twin mattress, a TV, and a suitcase of clothes. He subsisted on a box of pasta and pasta sauce, iceberg lettuce, and ranch dressing each night while sleeping on his mattress on the floor in low-income housing.
Okay, hold on. All right, so he's a weirdo. He's a straight. So he was basically a homeless guy.
So we were right yesterday with this guy's just poor.
Yeah.
It doesn't have AC, and it doesn't have heat.
It's time for a pasta party.
He's also a hermit of some kind and a minimalist, apparently. Okay.
And so promoted, he's focused on defense. He was proven to be such a passionate leader that he had the role of the team's pregame talk. So he was the guy who would give the pregame hype video and the pregame speeches because apparently, again, crazy person.
So as an assistant coach, so the head coach is like, Jace, you talk to him.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay. And then the last thing to make Jace Coburn, the coach at Portland State, the coach's coach, whoever coached, let's see, Portland State, they're in the Big Sky Conference tournament, hottest team in the league, won 6 in a row, a true contender and a chance at the NCAA tournament. Then on the day the Vikings were to play their game in Boise, the tournament was canceled due to COVID. Not to be deterred, Coburn still had a story to tell. He and his fiancee, Lindsay Migas, were scheduled for a May wedding, but with the pandemic raging, they were concerned it would prevent them from having their big day. So as the team was waiting for an opportunity to fly home, Coburn and Migas decided to go ahead with their wedding right then and there with an assistant from the Big Sky Conference in Idaho Central Arena, the home of the tournament. The couple got married at center court in front of the entire basketball team.
Of course. There's somebody out there for everybody.
Right? So this guy,
he found a woman willing to marry him at center court of a Portland State game.
Oh, there's a global pandemic that's going to shut down the entire world. Let's get married right now at half court with all of our friends from the Big Sky Conference.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that's Jace Coburn, and that is on the school's website promoting their hire.
Wow. That's crazy. So that makes me think of 2 weddings. It makes me think of the wedding in Bull Durham, where the young ball player gets married at the ballpark because they don't have any other place to do it.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of Sly Stone, Sly and the Family Stone. Tanny, you know Sly Stone. You know he got married at Madison Square Garden? He got married at Madison Square Garden at the height of his fame, and it was a concert and a party and just invited everybody to the wedding. I don't know why that reminded me, but it did, and I've shared it, and there it is.
I like it. Did you say Tanny Sly Stone is in Sylvester Stallone?
No, oh my God, that's why he asked me. Yeah,
I just want to be sure.
Every once in a while, I look to Chris when
you need some sort of validation. Like, yes, I've heard of.
Are you familiar that music exists?
All right.
Chris, has music ever moved you in any way? Have you danced to anything with rhythm ever in your life? Maybe you could help me.
All right, my bad.
Slice.
It's a fair question.
Dance to the music?
Google Sly Stone.
Sly Stone.
Alternatively, though, it's like not a fair question at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another alternative, not a fair
How do you get Sylvester Stallone from Sly Stone?
Yeah, because he doesn't, Stone, he thinks I misspoke. Because it's got to be something. It's got to be something he knows.
Is Sly related to Steve?
Steve Stone?
Yeah.
No.
Then I don't know him.
They were contemporaries, though. They were contemporaries.
Asking Stoney that question would probably get you blocked on Twitter, by the way.
Is he have blocked? Did you see his response to the Hawk question?
Yeah.
The Stone Pony?
Yep.
No, I did not see
It's
it.
hysterical.
Oh.
I'll read it word for word.
Yeah. So
meanwhile, you got to look at photos of Sly Stone's wedding. Danny, I'm surprised you and Steph didn't have photos like this taken
come
for
on,
your wedding.
Tanny, is that not one of the coolest things you've ever seen in your life for a crazy person?
This guy parties.
I'm trying to find the guest list, like the who's who.
Yeah, there's 20,000 people. You know? Oh my God, he could do anything, and that's what he chose to do.
So there's a New Yorker story on the wedding. The biggest event this year, the wedding of Sly Stone and Kathy Silva.
Yeah.
Steve Stone's tweet is from Mayor Jeff.
Yeah, so Mayor Jeff asked a question about Hawk, right?
When Steve Stone sits down and engages with us, I feel like he's just another one of my friends of 20-plus years texting about baseball, and it's awesome. On that note, how do you feel about being called Stone Pony? Where did it come from? Did Hawk invent it? And Stoney replied, Linda Ronstadt's band was named that. If I was their drummer, I would like the name. I wasn't.
So not a fan.
Not a fan
of the nickname.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, one of those things. Not a good one of those things, but one of those things.
So not a fan of the nickname that Hawk Harrelson used to call him his entire career.
Yeah. And I'm sure he told Hawk that too.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Did we ask him about it on Friday, or do we avoid it?
I don't know.
He tweeted it, man.
He did tweet it, so it is public.
But can he block us on the air?
I'm not sure.
Gentlemen, I'm not going to be appearing on your show anymore.
Yeah, we really can't afford to lose. I was going to call him the Stone Pony. We really can't afford to lose Steve Stone.
I mean, seriously, their entire careers called him Stone Pony. The clearest and easiest representation of that partnership was how far away they sat from each other in a broadcast booth.
I remember.
It is remarkable. Like, I think that they had a contractor come in and knock out a wall to make the booth wider so they could sit further away from each other. I'm pretty sure that's how it went down.
I'm on the Hawk show.
Oh, that's a good find. That's an old good find.
Remember when he came out for Score Stories with Mag and I made a joke about how far apart he was from Hawk, and he just did not acknowledge. Like he just kept it moving, had no interest in acknowledging that portion of it at all. So yeah, I don't know. I'll let Speaks bring it up.
No. The Sox are an interesting enough team that we don't need to do it.
Okay.
That's my cop-out.
Yeah. Right. So you'll ask Flula about the third right, and you'll ask Beth Bernstein about
the first time she had sex with her husband.
Yeah, but you won't ask Steve Stone about his nickname.
Found me out.
All right.
Found my limitations.
I get it.
Right there.
I get it.
Sox are an interesting team. Yeah, they got a lot of interesting players, and they get 2 days off. I heard something discussed on our Venerable Morning show where they were talking about, do you skip Dylan Cease tomorrow and give Dallas Keuchel a start? And I don't think you would do that at all, to me. I don't think that you have a pitching staff where you can afford to just have an arm sit around there for like 8-9 days and not use them. And it's important to get Cease going as much as it is anything. And you might as well save a start through the rotation. Like, I don't think that's a consideration.
Yeah, what are we trying to do? We're trying to hide Dylan Cease now?
Right.
From the Rangers of all teams?
Yeah.
Like, the Dane Dunning return, the revenge tour. I'm looking forward to that.
He looks good.
Yeah, he does.
And you always knew he was going to look good.
I did, yeah. I just did not think it would happen this quickly.
He's a smart he's a smart pitcher with a good plan. And he was. That's good for him, man. Lance Lynn is a beast, and Lance Lynn will matter, and you'd rather have Lance Lynn than Dane Dunning in Game 2 or Game 3 of your playoffs, 100%.
Yeah, no question about that. Cubs making a move today, by the way. Jock Peterson, 10-day IL retro back to April 21st, left wrist tendonitis. Nico Horner's back.
Wow.
Another contact guy for you.
Good for you. Yeah! That... it's funny. We were talking about this with Boog about Jock not playing for a while, or not playing maybe every day. And Boog agreed that was a good idea these days. Get Matt Duffy in there in the infield sometimes. Get Nico Horner in there in the infield sometimes. Let Chris Bryant play left field. Makes all the sense in the world right now because Jock, that spring just didn't mean Jock. Huh? Who's with me? Huh? Come on. That's right.
God.
Yikes. Really?
Wow. Teddy, you were way too ready for that.
I mean,
thank God Cubs pregame's an hour and a half tonight. We got to go.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I respect the swing.
Wait a minute. We're here till 6:05 again?
Think so.
Oh, God.
Tanny's wanted to leave since noon. He just wanted to be out of here so quickly.
It's been a good fun show. It's a good day to be here.
I think so.
No, it's been a very fun show.
Hey, man, every day's a good day to be here. Am I right, folks?
That's why we got in the business. Absolutely. That's what everybody. Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
Why that whole things that mattered segment that we did in spring training when you sometimes felt like I wasn't 100% there for it. Jock Peterson, good example. Spring doesn't matter. Everyone forgot about it.
Yeah.
Not the segment, Jock Peterson.
Yeah, I don't think I ever included Jock Peterson in that segment. Maybe I did.
No, we never did.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
I don't think make Danny wrong. Yeah, we never did that.
Okay,
yeah, thank you.
All right.
I remember we
I stand corrected.
included Craig Kimbrell concerns and Craig Kimbrell improvements. So
that's pretty relevant.
Yeah, it's awfully relevant. And somebody's going to make a Craig Kimbrell trade offer. I saw Bleacher Nation wrote about it today, and Bruce wrote about it, I think, today as well. So there's something out there. Somebody's going to make somebody's going to jump the gun and come to the Cubs for Craig Kimbrell.
The Minnesota Twins.
How about it? Because Alex Colomé not getting it done. 1 year after being dominant for the White Sox, that Twins loss yesterday in Oakland. That
hilarious.
The horseshoe that is shoved so far up the collective hiney of every member of the Oakland A's right now is just unbelievable. That is their 11th straight win. They win it 13-12 in the bottom of the ninth on 2 consecutive throwing errors. Excuse me, 2 consecutive errors. Excuse me. The first one was just a fielder falling down.
You're excused.
Yeah.
You're
and
excused.
then one of the worst throwing errors I've ever seen. Oh, my God.
And that throwing error was made. Can you kind of just walk us through what was going through your head?
That's what I did, but yeah, baseball guts. That's what happened. I smelled that we were gonna win too. Yeah.
Did you say you smelled that you were gonna win?
Yeah, you just smell when you're gonna win.
How? What gave you that impression?
The way we act all the time. We know we're gonna win.
That's Ramon Laureano, the outfielder for the Oakland A's, saying that he smelled they were gonna win. That's awesome.
I like that.
What does winning smell like? Champagne?
I have no clue how to interpret that, to be perfectly honest with you. I'd love to tell you, but I don't know.
Those guys feel it, They just feel like it was going to happen, obviously.
It's, you know what it is? That's the cousin of is momentum really real or is it just confidence, right? If you've won 10 games in a row, you feel like you are going to win until that 27th out is recorded.
There's a terrific line from Ian Happ in Sahadev Sharma's piece today on The Athletic because Happ was, before the game yesterday, was looking at his ex-WOBA, his expected weighted on-base average based on how hard he's hitting the ball and what he's doing and what the peripherals are saying and what luck is involved. And that's Happ. And that was making him feel better. He's looking at that. He's like, yeah, okay, so I should be doing better than I am. I will. It's baseball. It takes its time. Meanwhile, David Ross was asked about it, and he's like, some of those numbers, man, they're ridiculous, and he's laughing at the numbers. But Happ's line was basically, it doesn't matter, whatever works for you, whatever gives you confidence. And I love that because that's exactly it. Like whatever your makeup is, grab whatever feels relevant to you, whatever gives you confidence. You need confidence every damn day to show up. So I loved that.
We talked about the weirdness of the show. We maybe saved the weirdest for last. A caller to Les Grobstein, but also, man, there's a team in town that is very, very frustrating right now. It's next on The Score.
Oh, hell yeah. Have a great day, and thanks for playing some Wu-Tang. That made me feel good.
Take care.
We love when members of the mob alert us to fun things that happen on the overnight show with the man, the myth, the legend, Les Grobstein. Thank you for hanging out. It's Parkins and Spiegel on The Score. We're taking you up to Zach Zaidman's Cubs pregame show, and then Pat and Ron have the call right here on the home of the Cubs. So we've got 2 clips, Spiegs, from last night's show. First is Les learning a new saying, or maybe using a saying incorrectly. You could be the judge, and then we'll get to the caller. So first, here's Les Grobstein using the phrase grandfathered in.
Area code 630. Not the only reason the Bears got into the playoffs. It's caused because another team lost. Yeah, Arizona lost 2 key games, and the Vikings lost one. Not sure how that's grandfathered in. It is because the NFL created another position to get into the playoffs. If that playoff spot was not there, they wouldn't have been in. That's how the Blackhawks got into the not Stanley Cup playoffs. It was the play-in round, and then they won it by getting them into that against Vegas. So that's called being grandfathered in. That's an expression.
Wait a minute. First of all, that's an expression is glorious and has a million possible uses on this radio show. But that's not how grandfathered in works. He's talking about something that's invented, like that something's wedged in, like they created an extra thing. Grandfathered in does not mean that.
So an example of grandfathered in sports would be what?
When I was growing up, there were a couple baseball players left who didn't wear batting helmets at the plate because they didn't have to. because they still played at a time when you didn't have to. I remember the catcher, Bob Montgomery, who was a guy, why isn't he wearing a helmet? Well, he's grandfathered in. He doesn't have
That's
to.
called being grandfathered in. That's an expression.
It's an expression.
All
right, thank you. It's perfect.
And that was true in a hockey sense, right, too?
Yeah, I grew up practically. I was raised in the third level at the old Chicago Stadium. I went to mostly Blackhawk games when I was a kid, and I remember those guys that were grandfathered in, that's an expression, they were allowed to not wear a helmet in hockey for some reason.
But you're not that old. Like Spiegel seeing a baseball player without a batting helmet, this guy roamed the earth with dinosaurs.
That's hockey, baby.
You're talking about the 1990s.
Yeah, it's like 91, 92.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Doug Wilson, Al Secord. These are hockey players in the 90s who are like, I don't need a helmet.
The 90s.
Helmets are for wussies. I'd rather get hit in the head with sticks and pucks and everything.
Like seat belts are prevalent. We're no longer smoking on airplanes. The internet is right around the corner. Like the dream team is existing, and these guys are like, you know what? I think no helmets.
Those are the days, man. Going down to the Chicago Stadium. Everyone's got a cigar going in the car with no seatbelts as a kid. Sure, great.
That's right. Hey, if I don't wear a helmet, maybe you can see my blood, and that'll scare you. That's right.
So that's called being grandfathered in. That's an expression.
By the way, pour one out for the third deck at the Chicago Stadium, man.
Where you could kind of see the game because the smoke just rose to the rafters.
No, but if you were towards the front, though, that was one of the greatest seats in that house.
Yeah, some of the best times when I was a kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
God. I saw just a couple of games there, so, some Blackhawks, some Bulls, but and there was part of it where there was standing room, but you could actually sit with your legs hanging over the edge of the third deck there, and you felt like you were right on top of the ice. It was unbelievable. Great.
It's funny though, Tanny, because I few years younger than you, but similar thing. I mean, Dad taking me to games back in the day. Eddie Belfour chants just after a shutout.
Oh, yeah. Ronick was my guy. I loved Eddie Belfour. It was one of the coolest things here, doing shots of bourbon with Eddie Belfour. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. I still have the bottle. Finished the bourbon, but saved the bottle. It's just like, man, I drank with Eddie Belfour.
That's cool.
Got paid for it.
That organ, being close enough to that organ up there in that third deck where it's just booming.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful. So beautiful.
So that is Les learning the expression, or explaining the expression, rather, grandfathered in. You can judge
So
whether
that's
or
called
not.
being grandfathered in.
Uh-huh.
That's an expression.
Thank you. And then on the Score listener line, which is powered by BetQL, bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL app today or visit BetQL.com. The Grobber, as he is wont to do, got a phone call.
We go down to Texas Junction where Jim is going to be aboard. Jim, how you doing?
Hey, I got that guy from the dumb state of Texas, or I'm sorry, the lone state of Texas about body fat. And I kind of agree with him. There's certain people that are good at being a tank driver or fighter pilot or a gymnast, or a runner. I kind of see it. It kind of makes sense about that. Anyway, but the other thing I want to talk about is that a buddy of mine is a rabid Bears fan. We're thinking about alternative teams to root for because the Bears, it looks like Mr. Spiral is attacked. That's why that's why tornadoes. You go to Soldier Field because that's the place that you want to go where a tornado is because there are no touchdowns there. But
you got a point there, and you also some guy earlier said he was involved with a tornado. We don't have tornadoes here in Chicago. Where is Texas Junction down there, by the way?
Well, it's on the good side of the Big Muddy River, on the east side of the Big Muddy River of Murfreesboro.
Oh, it's in Illinois, huh?
Correct. Yeah. What if you hang a left, you go to Texas. You hang a right, you go to New Orleans.
That's if you go far enough south. Thanks for checking in, Jim. I still don't know what he was talking about.
Me neither.
Sweden. Context. There's a Murfreesboro in Illinois.
Yeah.
There's a Murfreesboro in Texas. The guy said, I'm on the good side of the Big Muddy River. And Les was thinking Illinois, even though he introduced him as somebody from Old Texas Junction.
Oh, God.
Oh, Les.
Murphy.
I still don't know what he was talking about.
You know, I honestly, I know there's going to come a day where it's going to start to feel awkward and sad to make fun of Les Grobstein. But I think it has felt that way for about 45 to 50 years. So maybe not. Maybe it's not
Everybody,
coming.
you weren't down there, I was.
That's right. I mean, there's a hell of a lineage of Chicago radio greats who've been making fun of Les Grobstein. You know,
I just like that Les felt the need for clarification. When the guy like, you go left, you go to New Orleans. You go right, you go to Texas. Les goes, well, yeah, if you're far enough down south. No, not
We
from
go
Illinois.
down to Texas Junction where Jim is going to be aboard. Jim, how you doing?
Yeah, I was that guy from the dumb state of Texas, or I'm sorry, the lone state of Texas about body fat. And I kind of agree with him. There's certain people that are good at like being a tank driver or fighter pilot or a gymnast, or a runner. I kind of see it. It kind of makes sense about that. Anyway, but the other thing I want to talk about.
What do they have in common? The gymnast and the tank driver?
I looked for about 30 minutes this morning trying to find the context of what he was talking about with body
There's no way to
fat.
know.
I couldn't find it.
Just accept.
A tank driver, a fighter pilot, or a runner.
Feel proud about the decisions that have made you to get to this point in life if you spent 30 minutes trying to find the context of that call that came in at 1:45 this morning?
Man, do it for the content.
We've all been there.
I appreciate it.
We've all been there, slaves for content, and you look up and you're like, what have I done with the last hour of my life? Oh, yeah.
It's pretty great.
Correct. Yeah. What if you hang a left, you go to Texas. You hang a right, you go to New Orleans.
That's if you go far enough south. Yeah. Thanks for checking in, Jim. I still don't know what he was talking about.
Us neither. I told you about my moment when I wondered what I had done with my life. I was producing Mike Murphy. Thank you. I was producing the Murph Show. We did a segment called Miss a Little, Miss a Lot. Miss a Little, Miss a Lot. And I needed Maxwell Smart saying, missed it by that much. And the only clip I found sounded like this. Missed it by that much. I needed the meh. So I sat there into a microphone and recorded myself going, meh, 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 meh. And I merged
until you got it right.
Until I got it right, and I merged that with his "ist it" by that much.
Why don't you use the M in much?
I could have. See, this is why Chris Tannehill's the GOAT. This is how you get 2,200 words and a big old house.
Thank you very much. What was that? Baldy McPherson? What was that?
McGrindy.
Let's go to okay. Enough of the Gillette lose it.
Enough of the Gillette lose it. But yeah, meh. Meh. I went to college. Meh.
Parents are very proud.
Very proud. Meh. Should have called my dad at the time. Hey, Dad, listen up. I'm at work. Meh. Meh.
Overqualified and underpaid. The radio story. That is really remarkable. Well, thank you to Les Grobstein, as always, for being the institution that he is. Want to answer some questions?
I'd love to. Let's get a bunch in. We got a little time. You can text him, you can Twitch him, do whatever.
That's right. One last thing. We answer your questions then in the show next on The Score.
It's time for one last thing.
That is the $1.5 billion question.
I just want to ask you one question.
That's a general answer to a general question.
Ask any question.
I just want to ask you
for anyone on the show.
Question.
That's probably an unsatisfying answer, but that's as candid as I can be.
I just want to ask you one question.
What do you think about verbs?
That's the dumbest question you could ask. What? Jesus.
I just want to ask you one question.
That's a silly question. That's a leading question. When I told you, if you listen.
I just want to ask you one question.
Whoever's interviewing him just baited him hard.
I just want to ask you.
That's a great question.
One question.
One last thing with Parkins and Spiegel on 670 The Score.
Taking you up till Cubs baseball, we like to end the show with your questions. We ask a lot of them from our Twitch chat. Follow 670 The Score on Twitch, but also you could text us, 312-644-6767. Shane, any good questions so far today?
Yeah, I'll go to the text line first from the 708. If you guys could have any other job of your choosing besides your own, which job would you choose?
I think professional golfer would be the greatest gig. I mean, just travel to the most beautiful locations. You're always playing in good weather.
Yeah.
You work for yourself. Almost all of them now with like Wheels Up as a business model, travel private. There's and you don't have to be like a top 20 guy in the world. Like the vast majority of them can fly private. Love golf. You just got to tip out your caddy. Winnings go to you. You finish 50th. You still make good money.
That's the thing, man. Make a cut and then fritter away the weekend, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's still a mid 5-figure payday, like on the low end. It's just professional golfers, Scott, can do it for forever. You know, that's a great life.
Yeah.
Make your own schedule.
I would be a baseball radio play-by-play guy.
Oh.
Every game, travel with the team. And he's going to be dead. And I'd get better than that. But just to live the ins and outs as close to a team as you can get. As close to the action as you can get.
And I will not be here tomorrow for the short show after the Cubs day game. So this is the last official on air. Good luck to you. 5th inning, Sunday.
Pre and post, and the 5th inning on Sunday.
Yes.
Very, very excited to work with Coom and Zach, and then get to do the 5th.
That's right.
I'm playing the Brewers, right, Shane? It's Brewers?
You tell me, man.
Yes, Milwaukee. Last game of the series.
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
You
Wife
would?
makes big money.
Wow.
I don't have to do anything but take care of the kids, walk the dogs, that
Cook.
kind of thing.
You could cook.
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad.
Wow.
DMs are open, ladies, for Shane.
yeah, sugar moms. If you got any money, and you want to pull me away from this job, take care of your home, please.
Please, I beg of you, right now.
I'd be Danny's caddy.
Be a great game.
Wait a minute. You're not? As it is now?
That's would be an easy transition, yeah. Bullpen catcher.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's strong. Your knees, though.
No one knows. Yeah.
Okay, Matt Sinatra.
Give me a little chair or something. No one knows who you are. You get to put on the uniform every day. Probably make a decent living. Plus baseball guys and their stories. It would be awesome.
Oh,
Would be great.
That's pretty good.
Would be great.
Pretty good.
What's next?
Yeah, not a lot of good ones. Carlos in Humboldt Park wants to know what's your favorite strain of weed.
I don't have one. For a long time, I used to, like, before legalization, it always was such a ripoff. Like, I felt like the vast majority of the time they'd be like, this is Bubba Kush.
Mm-hmm.
This is Bubba Gump. I was like, you don't know the difference. You're just trying to scam me. But I will say,
now they do. Now
they very much know,
Very
and it's
dialed in.
very specific, and it is awesome. And I just tried the new Gary Payton. I just tried Gary Payton's strand. Delicious.
Really?
Does he grow it?
No, but he sold his naming rights to it. And ironically, that team.
Wait a minute. Because Sean Kemp's also got a thing going on. And is it in Cleveland or is it in Seattle also?
Seattle.
Okay. So
How many Seattle Supersonics?
Does Detlef Schrempf have one?
That's the right question.
I'm not sure about Detlef Schrempf, and I'm not sure if Gary Payton's is associated with the budding empire that Sean Kemp is trying to build in the weed business. But I know that Gary Payton has his own strand of marijuana, and I know that it's delicious.
Wow. All right. I don't have a favorite strand. I know I like sativa because I like the feeling of being caffeinated and active and staying up and just being entertained by my own brain, let alone anything else that's going on in the world. The indica knocks me out.
Clark in Chicago wants to know if it was easier for me to eat at Flam's restaurant last night or would have been easier to make the food at home.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. In last night's case, it was easier to eat at the restaurant, than make the food at home.
But Monday, when we're trying all of the fried chicken sandwiches,
yes,
it will be easier for you to cook them than order them.
In Monday's case, absolutely, because I'm going to be trying to time out 6 different fast food chicken sandwiches from Uber Eats to get here at the same time. So it will be easier on Monday for me to make my own chicken sandwich than order it.
I just want to watch you order all 6 at the same time. And
yeah, might have to solicit some help.
I'm happy to. I drive right past Chicken Corners, as Speaks dubbed it. I can do.
That's right.
I could pick up some.
Yeah,
did I call it that?
Might have to do that.
Yeah, you call it.
That was you. Yeah, you were the Chicken Corners guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long-time Chicken Corners guy.
Always have been.
Did you guys see any questions that?
This Rod says, any of you see any good movies lately? Going to see In the Earth tomorrow. It's horror. That's from Rod. I've been wanting to talk about a movie. I recommended it to you. You haven't watched it yet.
Haven't watched it.
It's on Hulu. It is called In and of Itself. And if you haven't seen it and don't read anything about it. It's a one-man show by a magician who's a brilliant magician, but it's not all magic. It's storytelling, and it's thoughtful as hell. It's freaking brilliant. So don't read about it. Just give yourself 90 minutes in and of itself. And it's absolutely brilliant. I want you to watch it so we can talk about it, Danny.
Okay. Maybe I can do that tonight.
Yeah, or something on the plane.
Yeah, I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow. Got my second shot. Going to Vegas. Got a very cool thing that I will be a bystander for out there. I will have stories for it on the back end, but very much looking forward to it, man. First of all, I haven't been since we were there, and after going so many times, man, I've been to Vegas double-digit times in my life, but haven't been since 4 years ago now?
Yeah, that's a long time.
At this point.
I haven't either.
Looking forward to playing some cards and like seeing people and just going with Nick Wright, and so having a little guy time with one of my best friends from college, and gonna hang out in Vegas for 48 hours.
Are they doing strip clubs with the plexiglass separator?
That sounds hot, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's how they were designed.
Temperature high.
Yeah. No, a lot of cars, a lot of steakhouses, and then maybe some time at a sports book by a pool. Not gonna suck.
Yeah, go to Circa, right?
I'm gonna check it out.
Got it, man.
I'm gonna check it out.
Go see Decker.
I think I'm gonna check it out on Sunday. Any other questions? But yeah, man, it just feels right. Get the vaccine. First time on a plane since Scorehouse. Where's that plane landing? Vegas.
Yeah.
Go see the movie Nobody. I've seen it twice in the theater. It rules. It's the great movie experience if you haven't been to a movie in a while. It kicks ass.
I got to do that too.
I got it. My wife's not interested. I keep trying to talk her into it. Tanny, what's the selling point? I tell her it's action, but it's fun. And she didn't like real action movies. She wouldn't give a crap about the John Wicks of the world.
So
I might be in trouble on this.
Well, my wife enjoyed it for what it's worth. Just getting out of the house was appeal in that regard. Just getting back to a movie for the first time.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys have been to a movie recently, but that could be just the selling point. Is hey, let's go to a movie.
I'm actually taking her to one tomorrow night. She doesn't know about the Music Box is showing this documentary. It's supposed to be freaking brilliant. I'm taking her to tomorrow night.
That's cool. Never seen a documentary out.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be visually stunning, so it seemed like one to see.
Did you do the Van Gogh experience?
It's called Gunda, and it's a nature. It's about a pig, essentially, and she loves pigs.
Huh.
Yeah.
That piques my interest, definitely more than the glass blowing, which I absolutely have not watched.
Jerk.
It's creative over here.
I think it's Gunda. Now I want to check.
Now you think you might have got that wrong.
Yeah, no, it's it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, it's in black and white.
It is. It's in black and white. It's an animal documentary with a difference. Striking imagery to humanize animals.
It's by a Russian guy.
Yeah. But Paul Thomas Anderson said it was freaking brilliant and beautiful and praised it like crazy. And I like that guy's taste. So let's go. And it's the movie theater, Tanny. That's the thing. It was like, oh, man, let's go out.
We got through this show without discussing how terrible of a game that was by the Bulls last night. I feel good about that, by the way.
They scared me last night. It just flat out scared me.
They suck.
It shouldn't be like this.
No. It's that, especially after that game in Boston. Just no consistency.
Right.
I know they haven't played together enough, but just very, very, very disappointing. Thank you to Dave Wanstead. Thank you to Boog Shambi. Thank you to Beth Bernstein. We're sorry that you're married to the devil. Brian Gertz runs our Twitch chat and the video stream. We very much appreciate you. Shane Reardon, our executive producer. Thank you, sir. Chris Tannehill makes us sound better than we are each and every day. Zach Zaidman and Cubs baseball coming up next. For Matt Spiegel, I'm Danny Parkins. We are Parkins and Spiegel. This is The Score.
That's why I like to listen to sports radio, because it's very emotional, it's very idiotic. It's all the flaws in human thinking come out.
The weather's getting warmer, and everybody wants to be outside, even your smart speaker. Crank up your favorite Odyssey stations on your Amazon Echo, Google Nest, or Apple HomePod at the pool or while you're grilling. Get your summer soundtrack from stations across the USA, from top 40 to rock, R&B to country. It's all here on Odyssey. Play your favorite station at your command, hands-free on your smart speaker. Your summer soundtrack is part of a universe of audio on Odyssey.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. and the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.